Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Onward VRML week number 9 in season 12. We have a matchup tonight between WolfSec and Unity. WolfSec debuting in VRML for obviously their first time here, and they are excited to be participating tonight. Talking to the co-captain, the captain earlier, and they are pumped for tonight's match. Originally, they were founded off of 2 players from another team that was in season 10 and 11, and they decided to form their own team to give it a go with a new roster, and they decided to join in later in the season to give themselves a little bit more time for practice and ensuring they were ready to enter into the VRML ready to go. Unity, on the other hand, is no stranger to VRML, with having a full season 11 behind them, and we are entering week 9 here for them, so they have no stranger to this competition and have a wide range of maps on their scorecards for the season here. We are still waiting on the lobby here, so we're gonna just kind of go into the bands that I do know of, so we can exclude those from the map pool and play those. WolfSec had banned Downfall, while Unity had banned Paradise. So we're avoiding a couple of the larger maps tonight, one being more open and a bit more difficult to see through all those windows, while the other is a large map but much more chaotic with combat that you will see on there, with all the balconies and the deeper window kind of peaks you can get there. Unity, since we have stats on them banning Paradise, has not played it at all this season, so it seems that they have chosen to ban it as their map pool ban instead of playing it or risking it at all. They just not feel comfortable on it. And with Downfall for WolfSec, not really sure on what they're thinking for that or what they're feeling for it. They may just not have a great amount of practice on it, or just don't feel comfortable for it yet. So I just did get notice from WolfSec that they are running a tad bit behind, so we're gonna hop into an intermission here while they get the lobby up and everybody joining.
Yes. time. He does this every day, man.
Why are you embedding him? Just keep
I
embedding,
don't know,
bro.
bro. Man. Go. One more to go.
One being more open and alright, I am back here and we are looking to get in here. The lobby is up, but they are having a couple of technical difficulties and it looks like it may need to be recreated. So sorry for the delay here. Just to communicate that out to the team, so it may just be another moment or two while we get things situated. The first map is going to be Subway, as you see on the scoreboard, and I think it's because they were practicing that one earlier in leading up to the jump towards VRML. So I think this is a comfort pick for them, not necessarily a strategic map choice for Unity. Playing it 4 times and not actually making a win there, but given their breadth of the history in VRML and the overall scores I'm looking at here for Unity, this may be more of a play in on what they are choosing to start off with a bang on the WolfSec side. So, sorry for the delay here. We're gonna get this started up here shortly. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to display to you, and Murray will be back here shortly again. Getting some word from the teams that it's going to be rehosted here in a minute. To get that issue fixed. In the meantime, feel free to throw a shout out in chat or out to the sponsors. We have, of course, VR Cover, Pro2 VR, Border Foods, and HyperX. I'm actually speaking on a HyperX mic right now and still working through a couple of volume issues. So if there's something that you do catch in here that could be improved, please do let me know. You can hit me up on Twitter with Grenade Magnet VR, or pop over to my Twitch as well. It's the same handle there. If you give me a follow on that, I will guarantee you there will be other casts in the future, especially in the off seasons, that I can host on my own channel as I do scrimcasts while we are not in the official standings and match generation. So, still waiting on the lobby here. We'll be right back with another intermission here. Sorry for the delay here, everybody. Alrighty, we do have the lobby up and people are starting to come in. So as I said, we are starting here on Subway and we are in the North Stairway. Obviously the key points for this are successfully defending any attack from the stairway, as it does lead directly in on the uplink. And we have the very tight corner coming in on the alley, providing a few good places for C4, primarily on the walls or the back of the dumpster. But then we also have the southern approach in, where you have a few key defending points on the train tracks, inside the doorway, and in the horseshoe stairs. There are a couple of common spots here. While attacking from the west staircase gives you a little bit more cover, and you do have a lot of ground to gain and fight through in order to actually get in on the uplink. You can see is a very good distance away. If you're new to Onward, the objective is to punch in a 7-digit code into the satellite to send the signal, which I've always been intrigued by when they put it down in underneath the objectives, but that's just my own reality, not taking yield to the gaming mechanics. As that you can't send that signal anywhere if this was in real life. But the key capping points are on the corner. You can cap from the turnstiles back here, and on the opposite corner, kitty corner to the uplink. There aren't many places to sit with a lot of great cover, especially as we come in behind here. This is really your best bet. So, you're new to Onward, this is a very difficult uplink to defend given the current position it is in. And we see lots of interesting battles that come through here. If you are not successful with sending the uplink, and you eliminate the other team, you gain 1 point. If you send the uplink, you gain 2 points. And it is a race to 4 points across 3 maps for VRML, and the best of 2 maps wins the match. There are a whole slew of other rules that apply as well, so they are very good to learn and memorize and understand, whether they have some nuances around them, and when is appropriate to open up tickets against moderators if you do encounter any issues. Looks like we have everybody dropping out of the lobby again, so I'm wondering if somebody's still having a technical issue getting into the lobby. Let me just check with the team here. Sorry about all the delays. This is WolfSec's first time hosting a match, and I do know there have been issues with folks seeing the lobby as of late, because we ran into that the other night while we were playing in our match earlier in the week. Homeland Esports against Siren Snails had to rehost not once, but twice, due to folks not being able to get in, whether they didn't see the lobby in the lists or they had a headset issue. it looks like we have everybody from WolfSec in, and 3 from Unity. 4 from Unity now. And I haven't heard from Unity, but WolfSec is the host. I am keeping in contact with them for that. Again, sorry for the delay on this. My mic is a bit quiet as I'm checking Twitch chat. Let me turn that up for you. Thank you for calling that out. Send a message out to Unity now, since WolfSec is good to go twice here. And their 5th has not joined in just yet. While I do this, I'm going to flip back to our intermission scene for the 3rd time. Hopefully this will be a quick little select. Oh, and as I was going to do that, they had their 5th pop in. So let me give you a glimpse as to where we are starting off here now that all 10 people are joined in. Since the rehost had to happen, we are now on the platform near the west stairway. Just like in the north, there is little to no cover for this uplink. You really have to smoke this one out in order to get directly on it and provide a little bit of concealment. But you really are going to be sitting here on the posts or on the vending machine or behind the map. It is just barely in range of capping distance there. As we've seen Excommunicado demonstrate in the past, probably 4 matches ago, 4 like official VRML matches, since we did have a 3-week break in there. And we should be starting here shortly. The approaches in for this are the west staircase. If you really want to go across the platform to make it over, you can actually skirt along the platform behind all of these barriers and make it over. So you can come in from the horseshoe or east stairway. And the south and the north, south providing a little bit more cover, considering you have the train to block all approaches in. Give you a little bit of the cover, but from the north you're really making a mad dash across a very popular set of train tracks to hide in. And a much larger gap, because this one fits 2 train cars compared to the rest of them being host to only 1. Again, shout out to our sponsors, Order Foods, Pro2 VR, HyperX, and VR Cover, and Asterion. The prize pool for this season so far is up to $7,000 US here, as the top 8 teams compete towards that. We usually see some very entertaining matches at the higher levels, and with that, Unity is going to kick it off, and instantaneously seeing 2 come in the west staircase and charging in. This is going to be a 2-2-1 split on WolfSec's front, with Unity holding 2 on the third train track, 1 in the east stairway, 1 in the basement looking towards Red Room, and 1 holding nearby in the first train car. He's going to see some action here shortly as Trent and Clark start their crawl down the staircase. Nobody directly sitting on the uplink, though. So they're going to have to collapse back in if Quartz goes down. This is going to leave it a little bit more open from the south. Brent starting to look towards Quartz. Not seeing anything just yet. Those lasers are crossing each other, so they are covering different fields of fire, but they are also crossing very close in with into Trent's body. Just a couple of bullets could take out both of them if they hold this tight position here together. Quartz seems to be able to hear their footsteps as they're coming through the doorway. And the first shots out were not from Quartz, but from Steel. Trent getting downed and getting the refrag was Clark. Leaving the south exposed here. Steeliest, the first one to take out somebody in the north stairway. WolfSec quickly cut down to a 3v4, and Zeki taking out a little bit more of a bold push there on the west stair front as Clark gets that refrag. This is a 2-3 with the 2 obviously in the south here, and going to meet a lot of resistance here from only Ike and Nova. Nova looking in the wrong area and thinking the west stairway was the way to go, was not where they were coming from. Ike downs Trent, giving Clark a 1v2 with Ike holding back. Looks like he might use some utility here. Maybe it was a syringe he pulled out real quick, but he knows where Clark is. He's gonna wait it out and be nice and patient for this. Doesn't get that out, and he comes around and gets Clark last second there. With 2 minutes 38 seconds remaining. I am not seemingly getting the comms out of the team. I heard no communication from either side, so this may be an audio problem that I'm going to be encountering tonight. Yeah, I did get confirmation that there were tech issues, so we had the extended delay there. So WolfSec coming out with a 2-2-1 split for their first round in VRML didn't work out that well. They did get closer in on the platform, but I think they had some communication issues as to when to push in, given the fact that the first shots were for Steliest in the north, while the other two in the south weren't fully ready. They could have at least taken out the one person in the train here to at least give a bit more of an angle directly on the uplink. But I think the breakdown point for them was the timing on that execution. Now is their turn for Volk. Let's see if I have comms yet. Nope, they are going to do a round reset. Before I even flipped into the gameplay for the bell. Cammy, that was a good fight last night. We were very well paired in our match, and I think you and I were trading some kills there a handful of times throughout Arctic, I think it was. So that said, WolfSec chose to do a round reset, and we may get back here in a second. Oh, looks like Unity had dropped one again. I'm wondering if they are going to end up playing this a 4v5 or try to get a reservist in, since they've been having a few more issues. Yeah, check in with them and see what's going on. Alright, we do have the 5th back in now. And there's the bell. As it seems to be a quick fake out there. Still have everybody in, so we should be starting here momentarily. Let's see how WolfSec chooses to defend the uplink here. Yeah, there's clearly some audio issues that I am having, as I'm not hearing anything from them. So Clark is going to take the back of the west stair entry, try to catch anybody off guard, while K-Man is going to hold a nearby position, potentially for any refrag chances, and then Spittin' Seeds and Trent Large are holding on the south and the horseshoe stairs. And looks like Dylan is the lone defender in the north. He is going to see a little bit of action shortly, as Unity does send 2 in the north staircase. Looks like Nova's turning back after Celia's actually going to a little communication here. Really wish we actually had those tonight. It's a very big clue into what they are thinking and how they are going to approach the map. It's not seemingly too worried about anybody immediately defending here. He is going to run into Dylan in a minute if he proceeds down this path, with the rest of the team in the south, but not on the platforms. They are in the red room and coming out from the basement. Depending on the staircase they decide to go up, they are going to run into K-Man, who did shift positions and is crossing zones with Spittin' Seeds back there. Dylan still not seeing action just yet, but looks like he may be the first to encounter as Quartz does come out. He hasn't poked his head out to see Quartz crossing here yet. Oh. There we have it. Dylan does get the one. Stelius is a bit more nervous now with that kill. He is aware of the sounds coming from Dylan over in the east. But Dylan is holding back behind this doorway enough that he may not... Oh! Wow! A very well placed C4 getting Stelius and Nova, but it looks like Dylan was taken out at the same time. That leaves the north entirely exposed with 2 down at the entryway there. And only Ike appears to be going for this revive and leaving Zeki to take the stairway. K-Man getting the headshot as he was looking more in the north towards Ike, but was obviously very well watched in that stairway. Ike taking one quick shot off at Spittin' Seeds does get him to come back in the track a little bit more spooked after that. Ike is not going to encounter anybody immediately here. Does have a little bit of time to get Stelius or Nova up, make this a bit more of a comparative fight. He only has 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining though, so he's going to have to really push this once he gets both of them up. K-Man looking for the kill, does get him with 1 minute flat remaining. WolfSec and Unity are 1-1 for rounds, and we are returning back into the north staircase. Unity had a better coordinated push on that, I believe. I think the only issue they really ran into was the down from the C4 that Dylan had placed, and I don't think I caught the kill that got him because I was in the first person, but it was Stelius who did round this corner and end up getting him. So it was an interesting little 3-way kill because of the fact that Stelius did shoot and get him at the same time that the button was clicked. And once that turned into a 1v4, Ike had to go for the revives, but this does seem like it is a shorter timer than a typical 6 minutes. So there was not a lot of time for him to get down on the platform to engage K-Man in the train or get closer to that uplink and send it. We are seeing a little bit longer of an in-around planning session here. So I'm wondering if WolfSec is going to have a bit more of a stronger approach to this than the platform, as it is a little bit more direct through the north stairway and into the from the west staircase. Here is round number 3. Zeki sporting a flashlight on his pistol with some C4. We may see him place the pistol nearby the C4 to blind them coming around the north staircase bend. We're gonna see a flashbang come out over here. Does not look like it. But Dylan and Spittin' Seeds do see him as he does around the corner a bit preemptively, thus making Unity not have the C4 placement they were planning for. And also down one more defender in the north. Quirt's in a bit of an off-meta position, looking to catch the opposers coming around the corner there. Ike holding a standard position, and Stelius laying down in the back a bit more exposed as well. They are going to confirm the kill here. And it looks like they're going to take a minute to plan. The rest of the team is over in the west staircase. Let's see if we can get a quick peek on them. As Nova is going to play on the vending machine, not looking in the direction of Trent or K-Man. May get picked off here shortly. Spittin' Seeds doesn't make contact on Stelius. It does spook him back a bit farther in, but Quartz is holding a bit more of that off-meta position. Might see something here real quick. Nova has not been seen yet, but K-Man, as I of course say that, does come around the mid-platform and get that pick. Spittin' Seeds and Dylan holding in on the northern front. Putting some smoke out, but look at this, Clark. Unopposed in the south. All three of them are pushing in from the south, uncontested. And Ike does guard the back there, giving a little bit more protection, but not expecting Clark, I think. Clark could hold this tight. Chooses a cross out in the open. Spittin' Seeds and Ike do trade, with Quartz laying down still. Smoke are coming out. Trent and Clark taking this very, very cautiously, and it seems like it might be a detriment for them. as they could have smoked and pushed and capped there, but they opted to play a little bit more cautiously. Given that Ike was on the vending machine, I don't know if they knew that it was a trade that happened over here, where Quartz was able to pick him back up, but not pushing that uplink could have cost them another couple of points here, as Unity is taking the Marsoc side now. And what was a very solid defense on the northern approach, it did only leave one person in the south, so they may be more comfortable on the north side than really pushing through the south because of how much terrain they have to cover and how many angles they would have to cross. So I'm expecting that we see a similar approach, maybe a little bit more commitment in the north, given how many people they had decided to defend the approach in. But let's get prepared for their approach, or lack thereof, on the garbage alley, and see where they decide to ultimately commit half the team. While we do have a break here, looking at the casting lineup, Nightfire and Nomad are starting their cast here on VRML 1 shortly at 9 p.m. Eastern with Excommunicado versus Leftovers. Leftovers is the favored team to win over them 27-7. But I'm thinking Excommunicado may give them a bit of a run for their money with their quick capping capabilities. So that seems like it will be an interesting one to observe as they do start up here in about 15 minutes. WolfSec committing 3 in the north with 2 covering a southern approach, while we have a 3-2 split out of Unity with turning into a 2-2-1 with Nova and Stelia slowing down, coming in the garbage alley. Zeki and Ike are seemingly in the basement. Gonna put tablet check. Yeah, they are approaching in. They may decide to come up through the west staircase. Zeki taking a little more cautiously, entering the red room with Ike trailing behind. A little bit more cover. Ike may be trying to coordinate this push a little bit more. Oh! Dylan downs himself as Quartz comes around the corner in Horseshoe. I don't think Quartz realized that he only is down back here, and Dylan could give his position away. Quartz is opting to not go and confirm that he is dead. Is going to run into Spit and Seeds and Trent. Clark coming off of where he was holding, as Nova and Stelios are holding tight at the top of the staircase. I think they're waiting on the go-ahead for a timed push here. A little bit of nonverbal communication. You can tell by the hand and head shakes going on there. Frag grenade does not land true. Lands on top of the staircase, and looks like we're gonna see a smoke instead come out, with Stelios trying to at least get a little bit more of this concealment coming in. A frag grenade, well placed, may have taken out K-Man. Looking back into the south, Ike coming up from the staircase. Gonna see Trent real quick. Stelios was taken out there, and I'm looking at Unity. There is a down. Oh, now it's confirmed. There we go. Zeki taking a handful of shots, missing Spitting off in the northeastern stairway. Few confirmation shots on Clark. Leads to K-Man laying down on the vending machine, just waiting for Nova to pop out a little bit more. We have the opportunity here, a little bit of a break from the combat in the north. Ike looking, not seeing anything in the north turnstile. Spit and Seeds does get Zeki with a PKM in the distance. Ike's now turning his attention there. Quartz looking and not seeing anything just yet. Is Ike going to cross out into his tracks? Nope, he's going to opt to take the safer and then pop out. Looking but not ready for that pre-fire. Quartz is now going to have to use a flashbang or a smoke to at least conceal this, but he does get hit. Was not effective on the flash, so Spit and Seeds does take out all three of the approach from the south. K-Man getting the final kill on Nova with a 1-2 push. The synchronization was definitely there for Unity, as they did have the communication for when to execute that push from the north, and the three folks coming from the south. The decision to not engage Spittin' with smokes may have been a bit costly for them, as they did have those three coming in from the south mostly free and clear until they encountered Spittin' in that hallway, holding off farther back than the door, giving a little bit more of that concealment with the black uniform in the shadow. I think if Spittin had been crossed over and either smoked or simply just rush across the platform with him missing, would have turned very differently for the uplink potentially being captured there. So now we're going to see WolfSec taking a position likely up top here with the spawns and coming in from the east stairway. The uplink is in the basement, so they could push a handful of ways, the most common being the west stairway, or if you want to actually take a little bit more unconventionally, going the east into Horseshoe. Plus the north does get you a little bit closer, albeit you have to run farther to get in that northern platform, where an off-meta position above the basement could play to Unity's benefit. We're going to see two go down in the west staircase, one going out south, and the two coming in on the north dumpster alley. Let's take a quick peek around to see how Unity's top defense is going to be played. Zeki, only one up off of the basement and in the horseshoe stair, looking south and long. His viewpoint does change a bit. If he held this corner, he'd get the cross from the turnstiles. Looks like Clark is going to run into Ike and Stelius first here, though. Ike kind of holding back and just waiting for that viewpoint or some sound clues. Definitely could hear Spittin' as he was coming in on the south platform, though. Flipping out back on the uplink. Nova starting to get some smokes in from Dylan and Trent. Smoke's not exactly where they wanted, it seems. The flashbang does get Nova here. The second one. They do get Nova. Uplink is exposed. Quartz not looking towards the uplink, nor is Ike or Stelius. Tablet is out. This is going to be a cap for WolfSec, uncontested. WolfSec taking map 1. The tablet awareness, or lack thereof, hurt Unity on that, given that Nova went down and nobody knew that he had gone down. The tablet awareness mini game, while you are on Volk, is very, very critical game to be playing, especially since you didn't have more than, I would say, 2 or 3 on that uplink, it would be probably... It would probably have been a different game if there was another 1 or 2 people on the uplink there, because of the fact that Nova was the only one there laying down and easily dealt with a flashbang, and nobody could have backed him up. And it looks like while we were getting set up here, WolfSec did drop a player. So while we were waiting, uplink on Suburbia is in the garage. We might get an eerie sense of my last week's cast if we get a cap in on this uplink from somebody in on lane 1. Just a quick recap of that. Last week, Excommunicado was facing Nordic Tactique and had capped this in all of 50 seconds. Still missing the 1 here. Let's take a look at the stats for Suburbia for Unity. Suburbia, they have played it twice, won it once. 14 rounds played with 6 rounds win, giving them a 43% win rate on record. And with WolfSec brand new, we are not going to have those stats. But Suburbia is really no stranger to anybody in the Onward community. So this may be an interesting one, given how popular the map is. But we're going to be waiting probably another minute here, as Clark did just get back in on WolfSec. And checking the time, we are coming up on Nightfire and Nomad, starting off their cast of Excommunicado against the Leftovers. And while we have that, let's hop into it. WolfSec. Looks like we're going to have one person peeking long. Dylan Longlegs does have a 2x on an AK-12, but he's not checking for lane 1. He's looking a bit more towards the house. Spit and Seed's getting some pre-fire out on lane 1. Does not grab anybody there. Ilias going down to K-Man while he gets revived from Nova as a very aggressive push from WolfSec on Volk. getting all the way back into Marsoc spawn territory. Bert's doing a quick tablet check and drops a smoke directly on him. He may have been shot at by Clark over here. Let's check his vantage point, see if we get another peek at that. Zeki does pick off one so far as he was sitting in the window. A little bit too exposed, it seems, with the PKM. And Unity choosing to take this very, very patiently. While we get the overhead view, it looks like we are seeing a 2-2-1 with the 1 holding far back. Starting their clearance of the middle house, Nova taking it cautiously still as the rest of Unity is just making their way on the midpoint for the map. Not checking behind him, Trent could see this. He does, and just does not get a quick pick on that. Stelius looking to take him out in the garage. Dylan looking, does get the kill on Nova as he was on the second floor. Quirt's getting Clark all the way off in the distance as they did chase around earlier. Cutting down WolfSec. It is a 2-1 with Dylan still holding and peeking in the upstairs. Bit of a defensive smoke. Probably does help him a little bit from Ike's position, but not too greatly. Does realize that he is the last one down and gets near the uplink. He might be concerned about this cap approach. Is also very greatly concerned about somebody coming up from behind on him, which with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining could be possible, but Ike is seemingly trying to get the kill pick here as he's looking through that window. Exposing himself a little bit there. Misses Quartz through the window. And Quartz is going to come up behind. He's going to get seen and taken out from the back. This is a 1v1 with 2 minutes remaining, and Ike still holding control of the center building. Still looking around for him, not seeing exactly where he did reposition to. 1 minute, 29 seconds remaining, and Dylan does have the view in for across the street. Ultimately not needed though, as Ike does get him just peeking a little bit too much out of that upper window there. Unity did come up with a nice slow approach all the way through the middle of the map, giving them the ability to kind of surgically pick out where WolfSec was hiding and take them out one by one until the last minute and 20 seconds. You'll probably see this uplink defended a little bit more from the rear at a Unity, and probably one trying to take over the center house. If they hold that center house, that does give them a good vantage point of the rear towards the uplink. A bit of an off-meta spot could be the barricades on lane 2. But ultimately, we will see what happens here in a short minute. I think WolfSec is going to need to choose a good lane to push through, and maybe 2 lanes, and keep them closer together so that way they can get any refrag potential, or discover where exactly members of Unity are sitting. Starting off, Dylan is pushing far up and aggressively, while Clark is also doing the same in the middle of the house. Doesn't get anybody off of the first few rounds exchanged, but Zeki does pick one off in on lane 3. And he is holding far in the back, just watching lane 3 as they come in. Clark does get Stelios, as he was in the left-hand side there, next to the garbage can. Quartz able to back him up. Does not get a kill there. Ike does down Dylan with the cross there, giving his position away to Trent Large. Ike also taking a few rounds there. Nova could stand up and kill him. Oh, decides to shoot through the bush. Maybe leave Trent a little bit confused as to what just happened. Dylan still revivable with his ragdoll body leaning against the fence there, but may not be an easy feat to do, as Spit and Seeds, the lone WolfSec, identified from Quartz. Pulling off that corner may be a good decision for him, but not moving off the building entirely may not play well for them. Quick reload here. We do have 3 minutes remaining, so he could take his time to discover where everybody is. Maybe do a little bit of pre-fire around in the bushes to keep a head down, or potentially get Nova. He does swing out behind the gray car. Spittin' could get that shot in on him. Dylan still not bleeding out. Could have given a few callouts, as Quartz did get a quick glimpse as to where he was there. But Spittin does relocate. He's in a position where he could go for the revive. Oh, but Dylan does just bleed out. That flash may not have been greatly effective. Spittin still thinks that Dylan is revivable. Going to discover that is not the case. It is still a 1-3 with 2 minutes remaining. Nova does have the angle. Quartz and Spittin trade. Nova could have stood up and gotten the same kill that Dylan had suffered. But the decision to crouch down and take this a little bit more closer to the concrete barriers did give Spittin that opportunity to avoid those bullets and ultimately that view. We are now on the tank uplink with Unity leading us in a 2-0. This uplink, as I'm sure that probably everybody who has played Suburbia is aware of, is capturable from both sides of the tank tracks with plenty of smoke cover and a direct view from the house and even parts of lane 2 if somebody does get in on this sand barrier. They can obviously see directly in on the house, get any quick picks and angles on here, or communicate out where some folks would be sitting. Same with the gray car. You got the same view. Getting into the swing of things here, let's get back into the gameplay. This is round number 3. And with a northeast spawn, are we going to see some pre-fire here from WolfSec? We ultimately do not. A little bit of a pre-fire out on lane 1. Clark does get down on Zeki as they're laying down, looking through the BMP's tank tracks. A difficult position to spot. Meanwhile, we have one Volk playing very, very aggressively in lane 3, while Unity is also playing a similar tactic of holding a bit farther back and taking this push nice and slow. Words getting a couple of shots at from Trent, it appears. He does pull back off of the window. Dylan does have the angle on this barricade from the other side of the windows. May be able to get a view quickly on lane 2 with a cross there. Brent, while they were trying to clear out the hedges, gives their position away to Stelios, who is now holding tight angle looking towards the garage and the first floor. Bit of a dispense of smoke to get a better glimpse there. Words getting yet another kill. Unity has a 4-1. Not recognizing the situation, does get the kill at the end. Instead of going for the cap, Unity is taking the map lead 3-0. WolfSec has not had a chance, a great chance, to at least return the favor with the points here. This round may give them the opportunity to do that, depending on how they decide to play this, given Unity's ability to lock down the uplink a little bit more tightly. At least in the last uplink location, which is a very greatly defendable position. WolfSec is going to need to be able to do effectively the same kind of picking that Unity has done, because somebody hiding in the back vault building does give them nearly free visibility on the uplink itself and all avenues in towards it. The middle building, of course, offering the same sort of protection and visibility coming in on the uplink. Also another critical building to be holding a less covered position here on the right, but holding down playgrounds and burning buildings approach would be critical for any flanking maneuvers to be shut down. We really kind of can't forget about lane 1 and 2. While it's not my preferred position, laying down on the striker vehicle would give them a bit of a quick glimpse as to where they were coming and potentially a kill from lane 1 crossing the corner. They do have 6 minutes to utilize for the round, so slowing down their pace, maybe doing a few wider angle picks and watching a particular place while not being tunnel vision would give them a bit more of a chance to fight their way in, maybe get a cap to reclaim some points. A cap for WolfSec would be a good morale builder and strength for retaliation on Unity's 3 that they currently do have. I do see we have 16 people in chat and tuning in, just bouncing around between 20 and 25. If you do have any questions on VRML or Onward, feel free to post them in chat. If you have any equipment from our sponsors, you can also shout out what they are and what you do like about them. I'm always interested in talking about different accessories with VR, as there are an abundance of them. It is a pretty big money sink for just accessories alone after you get the headset. Different accessories obviously work better for different games, so what game you like to play and with what accessory would be an interesting conversational point. And since we have had a good delay here looking at scoreboard, we've had 2 people drop out. So we are at a 4v4 now. Clark did rejoin again, so they may be having some headset issues. Yeah, check in with Unity again. Does seem like they are having another technical issue. So while we are waiting for potentially a headset reboot, I'm going to give us a couple minute break with our intermission.
I'm crazy, Captain.
Yes.
I'm nasty, Captain. Bro, what? Yes. I had to get rid of him.
Nah, he was being toxic.
Every time he does this every day, man.
Why are you unbanning him? He's so
I
bad,
don't know,
Like,
bro. Man. Go. One more to go.
All right, and hopping right on in after everybody is back in game and ready to go. If Unity holds us down, this will be round number 4, and the win for the map, or for the match here, map and match, because it will be 4 points earned. Quick picks off from Cayman on Nova, charging very strongly into the middle house with Ike on the other side and a bit more of an off-meta position just below the windows. Looks like we're gonna have Forgotten Souls subbing in and trading, with Clark able to get a confirmation kill there on him. Stelius doing a quick refrag off the tank. And Zeki cutting WolfSec down one more, leaves Trent large. Popping out, a little bit of a dangerous peek, gonna get the flashbang out of Zeki. With Trent, the lone Marsoc. Down Stelius, off in the distance here. Looking for that aggressive pick, does not get successful. And Ike is now very aware of Trent's presence. Opting to go around a little bit more, try to pick out where exactly the last 2 standing from Unity are. Zeki could move and get that revive. It does look like they are going to do that. Zeki gets the revive, making this 1v3. A quick peek from Zeki, and Unity takes the map. And right away, we are going into quarantine, which is not in the map pool, but as a caster, I am not a moderator nor rule official, so they could play this and I will continue casting for them. But it is up to the teams to identify if the map is good or not to be played. Just peeking at the scoreboard and watching things getting set up just in case they do play this. One did drop on Unity. But nobody else has yet, so I think they're discussing the next steps here. And looks like they're still discussing this, or maybe in a planning, but nobody has dropped this yet. At least for a rehost. Since we are on the topic of quarantine, going back at Unity's stats, they have played it 3 times and lost 3 times, but they did get 4 rounds, so they were seemingly close on 1 or 2 of the matches there. Steliest is back in on Unity's front, so a little confused. We may be progressing a bit here. It does seem like they are choosing to play this. We just did get the bell to count everybody in. Unity on bulk to start this off. Number 1 for quarantine. Later on in the month, that starts on the 31st though. Zeki getting a quick few shots off during the cross of the streets, but ultimately goes down to Dylan as a 4-1 split on WolfSec's part. Takes over the hospital with clear dominance. Forgotten Souls not getting any glimpse of anybody here just yet. Dylan going up top though. May get a glimpse here at Steliest. He has poked his head out a little bit. checks behind and does get forgotten as he crosses out with the rest of the team behind him. K-Man looking to pick for a refrag. Not seem to get that. And Nova with a brief pick on the AC building approach that the one person had for a flanking maneuver, leaving a strong three-man approach on the south side, now cut down to a 2 and a down. Looking for a flash as a defensive measure to at least throw off Quartz. May not have connected there though. Only Ike picked out in the open, only a down here. Dylan going to need to either deal with Nova or confirm Ike, so that way their position is not given away. Trent coming up on the burning building, looking for a bit of a pincer move between Nova and Quartz. Three minutes remaining with one down on each side. Nova only downing Trent. He did get a good successful flashbang off on Nova, but didn't seem like it was going to be effective enough. Dylan does get the revive here on K-Man with Quartz around the corner. He obviously knows they're coming around. Right, face, point blank, gets the kill, and Nova gets a quick revive while there is safety from Trent not being able to retaliate, and does finally get the confirmation kill. A 2v2 turned 1v2. Now is a 1v3 here. K-Man doing a surgical pick of everybody. He knows where just about Ike and Nova are sitting. Nova needs to watch where they are positioned physically though, as they can clip through the wall. Looks like we may get a toe out, but maybe a kneecap, but that's something for them to keep an awareness of. With 1 minute 20 seconds remaining, K-Man needs to eliminate Ike and Nova. He does not have time to sit around very long. One minute flat remaining. Here's some utility coming out. Oh, going back in the vest. Grabbing a quick glimpse of Ike, exchanging some rounds, but does not get any sort of connection there. The drum does assist him with keeping a few more rounds coming out towards Ike. 30 seconds remaining. Unity just needs to stay tucked in and not move to avoid any sort of detanglement of this defense here. 15 seconds remaining. Nova does peek out a little bit and realize that they need to stay tucked in. Oh! Clip through and getting killed gives WolfSec
the round 1 win here. With 5 seconds remaining, that was a very quick 2-person kill within the 10 seconds they had remaining. The uplink being in the destroyed building where does provide a good amount of cover, but no strong capping points within the square itself. You can obviously hold in on the corner because of the distance here, but leaves you exposed from center burning building or the airplane. And probably the best approach would be to lay down or cap directly from the wall, but not poke your head out too far, obviously, because then you got this very large cone that shots could ring in on you if a defender did play a bit more of an expanded approach and catch a quick glimpse of you. And with that, here is round number 2. WolfSec returning the favor on defense here. Uh-oh, the round reset just barely in time while we were at 5 minutes 57 seconds, just literally in the nick for a round reset there. Not exactly sure what happened, as everybody seemed like they were set to go. I guess we will see what happens here momentarily. Well, I haven't done this often. I've only started mentioning it today. If you do want to catch more Onward or other VR game action, you can check out my Twitter or Twitch with @GrenadeMagnetVR. I'm also on YouTube. Have a few more videos there. A little bit more of a different array of things. I have mostly Onward's content there, but a few other games, and I am in the middle of renovating to actually get a proper VR space in the basement with a little bit more room, so hopefully can get some more action with a variety of games. So feel free to hop on over to Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch and give me a follow or a subscribe. Would be greatly appreciated there. During the off season, I do scrimcasts for folks who do wish to participate or ask me to commentate on their matches. And of course, while it is in the off season, we are a little bit more open to community casters, which is going to be coming up shortly. I know we have had some chatter about it in the Discord, but we should be hearing something officially from the mods based on some chatter in there, probably in the next 3 coming weeks. Round 2, attempt number 2. Forgotten Souls and Dylan holding in on the southern approach. Not going to encounter anybody. Nova peeking a few shots over at Clark, going to get that call out that everybody is coming in from the north and northeast. An overview perspective of the map shows there is 3 coming in from the northeast, while all of 1 is hanging back. Looks like Ike is hanging way back there. Might have a marksman. And Clark and K-Man doubling up on the airplane as the position change-up was deemed as inaudible. Stelius looks like he's going to encounter Trent. Quick habit check does show that there is no friendly over in this area. K-Man doubling back for this defense here. Stelius on the opposite side of the building, able to hear his footsteps. Nova and Stelius are doubling up on this while K-Man is looking for any sort of indication that they are around. Checking the mini-map, we do have a couple others coming in, but they are not directly exposed to anyone from WolfSec just yet. Checking back in on Nova and Stelius. Not really much movement or progression here. I think they're concerned on K-Man being nearby. Clark with a bolt action, taking a quick shot at the entry point there. Missing, and ultimately even K-Man getting an opportune kill against Unity. Two minutes, 40 seconds remaining, and we are only 1 death in. Zeki was taking shots at seemingly Forgotten there, but doesn't connect. K-Man pulling well off now. Dylan catching Ike on the approach in from the south as everybody is starting to collapse in on each other with 2 minutes remaining. We may have to see some offensive change-ups here or a quick angle pick to get a couple of these defenders knocked out. Stelius, Nova, and K-Man still all in the same direction here. If K-Man's a bit more patient, he may have some payoff with Stelius. Nova's pushing down below, though. And Trent gets the kill on Stelius before K-Man gets around the corner and take out Nova. Clark pushing in quick and downing one of Unity, but Ike able to get a quick refrag. One member of Unity left against 4 Volk with 40 seconds remaining. This is not looking good for Unity to start their turn off on quarantine as Marsoc. And with 10 seconds remaining, that gives WolfSec 2 points on quarantine. A quick peek at the mini-map, and we see the uplink in probably my favorite spot, honestly. Just because of the amount of cover that you have as a defender and a harder fight you have in on Marsoc to get here. This usually a couple of off-meta places would be on the corner, catching anybody coming in from the northwest approach. And if you use the H barriers, you can get some protection on a quick glimpse for the southern coming in from the gas station. A very long push would be in where our previous objective was, on the broken building. And a couple of usual places would be on the top of the building, balcony here, in around the H barriers, or even off in the back warehouse. Something really quick here to troubleshoot something. Still have game audio, which is good. Let's see if that fixes our voice issue. It does not, it seems. So, looking in at WolfSec's perspective, they are doing a hard push. Oh no! With a bit of the quick chaos there, Dylan ends up pegging one of their own in the back. That team kill is going to hurt them as they push singularly through the hospital. Dylan throwing some lead into this window to keep Ike's head down doesn't seem to give the rest of the team much of a push for advantage. He's still peeking there. He's not. He's worried about the teammate and getting some utility. They may get this kill on Ike if they do pop their heads back up. Elias getting a quick headshot on Clark from the top of the hospital, making WolfSec have a 3 to 5 approach from the hospital. Still, they have held this position for a good 30 to 45 seconds now. With all eyes from Unity looking on, this is going to be a much harder fight than I think they are anticipating. Uh-oh, Ike had a clear shot as Dylan was not suppressing that area again. It is a 2v5 now with 3 minutes remaining. Quarantine being a medium to larger size map is not going to give them much time to pull back off the hospital and get around. And Unity may have a little bit more experience in determining the fact that a silence over in the hospital doorways is going to lead to a push from the center now. Zeki, the next one that we may see K-Man engaged with Quartz off in the distance. Peeking out just slightly too much. K-Man did give his position away with Zeki and Stelius around the corner. Stelius going to double back on the opposite side of the ramp. Fortunately, does not get that quick shot and glimpse there. Zeki looking down at where K-Man was and in true Honor fashion, just barely missing that approach in, but Ike is watching it from the opposite side of the gas station. While successful with 1 kill, Trent now has a very tough fight ahead of him with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Choosing to take Ike head on. Uh-oh, the flashbang bouncing back off the top of the gas station, blinding himself with 55 seconds remaining. And giving their position away, Quartz could pop around the corner. Ultimately swinging around as all lasers did focus in on Trent's position. A very difficult fight that WolfSec had approaching from the hospital. Unity gains a point on quarantine now. And we typically see a 5-man push through one route in newer teams, but it usually doesn't work greatly well for them. I think choosing hospital may have been a good decision if they sent 2 here, because of the amount of cover and the ability to pull off and maintain a little bit more awareness as to where folks were depending on the angles being played. Like if they were sitting in the boxes on the northern part of the hospital, you could get some better angles at a longer range. But sending all 5, not typically the best idea to go through a single route. Usually teams kind of discover this after a few matches in VRML with seeing the level of competitive nature people play with. But it depends on the situation, and it works for some teams and execution styles, but that one just did not work for them in this particular round. And we did drop one off of Uni again. So it seems we may be waiting here another minute longer. Nightfire and Nomad are 1 hour in on their cast for Excommunicado and After Hours. They are very likely in to map number 2. Taking a quick peek to the channel. They are actually on venues today. And just for a bit of an update there, Leftovers won the match with Arctic 4-1 and Downfall 1-5. Sorry, 5-1. They had 5 points on Downfall, with Excommunicado gaining 1 in each map. And they're in map 3 of Subway. Just started it off, it looks like. That link is facebook.com/VRMasterLeague, since they are on a venues cast tonight. And as Zeki did report just a minute ago in chat, they are getting a reservist in, so it looks like we're gonna have another break here. So while we are waiting, feel free to check out the venues, map number 3, the website, of course, and our sponsors. We will be back in a little bit. We're gonna go into a brief intermission here.
Yes.
Bro, what?
I had to get rid of
Nah,
him.
he was
bro.
being toxic.
Every time he does this every day, man.
Why are you unbanning him? Just keep
I
unbanning,
don't know,
Like,
bro. Man. Let's go. One more to go.
Welcome back, everybody. Looks like we have Fireman Jake to fill in for Unity. So we should be hopping back in here momentarily. Apologies for the delay between player drops and some headset technical issues earlier. And as anticipated, here is the round count timer. WolfSec on the defense yet again. I think there might have been a quick exchange between Trent and K-Man right off the bat. Maybe some additional utility to place down. Two are going off in on the northern approach where all of our Marsoc have spawned off. And three on the gas station. Holding heavy in on the southern approach here, which very, very long way off. There is not much of a chance to rotate back in on this if they need to. Coming in on the northern front, Trent is watching. Looks like Quartz is going to exchange a few rounds with him, but ultimately does not have anything connect. Clark does get lucky out on the hospital roof there and down one of Unity. And observing the mini-map, their play to hold in the south on hospital may actually turn out for the better here. A little unexpected considering the spawn. Quartz quietly looking for any sort of indication of defenders on the buildings. Ultimately comes around and does take Trent out, leaving the north approach fully open. Clark does down him with the bolt action. And Zeki downing K-Man in a quick little spar that we did unfortunately miss. There's the confirmation kill. Quartz could give the positions away for Clark, saying, hey, he's on the center burning building, but you can get me up. Sorry, Clark is not on center burning. Clark is actually on top of the hospital still with that bolt action rifle. Doing a good bit of damage with it as he has downed and killed another. Celius looks like he is got a good angle. Oh, he's actually downed on the AC building. That's why we are not seeing him move at all. Clearly able to give away the position of Clark. Ike does drop behind, well, does get behind Clark ultimately, but does not get the view on it. Ike coming up from behind the defenders as they were here a minute ago. May see a quick pick off from Clark. Ike getting Dylan all the way in the back there. Clark looking to get a quick shot with that bolt action out. Whoop. Ike did just barely cross in front of his path without being able to get the shot off. It is a lone WolfSec defending against 3 other Marsoc here. Oh, Clark is gonna get picked off from Zeki. Barely getting missed as he did cross over the hill there. Zeki is going to need to take this wide berth here to end up getting Clark. Putting Unity at a 2-2 now. With K-Man clearly the strong one on WolfSec, 4 kills on this map. And let's correct the scoreboard there. I had Unity off by 1. So it is officially a 2v2. Not a 2-1 in favor of WolfSec. WolfSec did just, of course, get their loss there. And the uplink now in the center burning building. We have had all center and western approaches so far for defense. The rubble would be a good place for a little bit of an off-meta spot, but close by. Depending on how you played this particular spot and which angles you were watching, could sit off the wall with the column behind you, giving you blockage of AC. The wall approach covering the tank courtyard would also be a little handy. And then we can't forget about the airplane with the windows. As you can see, there is a pretty good angle, both laying down and standing. It appears we may be anticipating a 3v3 with rounds here, as they have been trading back and forth with quarantine, with relative strength showing on Volk for the last two uplinks that we've seen. Quartz does take up the airplane fuselage with the windows. May not see anybody for a little bit here, as we do have the approach from the northeast with a 3-2 split. Forgotten Souls and Clark taking the northern approach to come in on AC. Early shots out from Dylan, looking for Stelius, it appears. They are exposing themselves a good bit on those peaks. Really can't forget about Ike, who is out in the open on the damaged building. I think Dylan did just recognize that there. Does take a hit from Stelius. Only going down. Able to get those callouts still. With a good bit of area to cover. Viewpoint wise. Stelius assisting with taking out the approach from the east. Trent getting close. Smoke not exactly where he wanted there, so he's gonna throw a flashbang, get Stelius. Zeki should be looking this direction. And Trent, tablet out, taking advantage of the situation, and does not get the time for it, as WolfSec does eliminate all of Unity. Bit of communication would have helped with prolonging the round, maybe another 10 or 15 seconds for getting that uplink out and sent while the last person from Unity was in the bottom of the hospital here. Either way, it was a pretty good push. They only lost one that I was keeping track of, which was stood down in the back here. Trent did come up through the airplane fuselage side. We did see him over on the fuel tanks below AC. I think this oil spill, this gas spill, is a nice little touch that they've added recently. Unless I've never over here and don't recognize that. By the way, it's a nice little touch. They were between these two. It did come up through the nose of the fuselage to give him that approach. Just recognize his tablet could have been out on the corner here for a little bit more of a capping opportunity. It would have tied up the map and made this a 4-2. And here is potentially the map point for WolfSec. Based on their early formations, it's going to be a 2-3 split with this street cross. It's dangerous. Someone from WolfSec was not watching the immediate cross in front of the building. Does give them the opportunity to get 3 over in the eastern warehouse, but popping over to the Volk side, or you're going to encounter 2 on the AC building. Clark is set up for the cross. Again, sporting the bolt action with 3 over here on this cross. It may not be the appropriate weapon for that. Usually we don't see too many bolt actions on Volk, as the Marsoc team does need to move a little bit more traditionally than a Volk player as a sniper. Recognizing though that he is very much being focused on, they decide to back off with a quick prone there. And K-Man, instead of holding the top of the building, comes down, does get the 1 kill, but Quartz is coming around for a refrag and looking for Clark. And a little bit of a quick jig on each side of the container does assist with getting Clark out of the way. WolfSec with 3, Unity returning on with 3. The dunes basically wide open for approach. Trent is the only person that will be able to see this coverage. And after Quartz made a strong name for himself nearby the AC, lasers are definitely focused their direction. Long shot seemingly over at Trent. Good angle on it, but we'd have to focus a little bit more for that. Forgotten getting a few shots out, but not getting that kill. I think Quartz is getting a little bit, yeah, he's a little bit hesitant, as rightfully so there. WolfSec just getting surgically removed from the approach with Fireman Jake. Challenging Trent, but moving off just in time for it. The approach in. Marsoc. Quartz returning. and getting the cap, making this Unity 4-3, and that gives them that gives them the match point there. Very well played from Quirts, coming in on the AC building and sneaking in with cutting down one by one to give that approach in. Well, thank you for sticking around the duration of the stream with all the technical issues that the players had and the 2 timeouts we had with finding subs. If you're new to VRML, please do check out the website and feel free to register and sign up if you have a group that would like to participate. We had, I think, 4 teams join over the 3-week break that ended 2 weeks ago. So we have some fresh teams and some fresh blood out there for VRML to contribute. Thank you to all the sponsors who do contribute to the prize pool for the top contenders in the world. And thank you again for sticking around. Have a good night.